Royalties of peace turning the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace. How are we all doing today? It is another water day. Another water day. Wow. Have I been learning throughout my experience of challenges in life, understanding the need to advance to wholeness, perfection, purity. Every progress is worth an applaud. Every renewing is worth an applaud. It is very important for us to always come back together and applaud together. At the same time, enabling lessons into blessings. No one left behind. No one left behind. We are not in a competition of who can do worse than each other. Neither are we competitive of who can do better than the other, but rather the one doing better than the other and encouragement unto each other to advance and stay of expected advancing. Did I get to learn of an emphasis in life that if it is not in progress, it is continuous. If it is not in progress, it's continuous. Understanding we are at the complicated state of our being, looking forward to the uncomplicated, we are in progress. Once we get into the uncomplicated state of being, will be a continuous. There is no end. But what you learn, you apply. Your application becomes you, your true self, like rehab to wellness. We all may have our difficulties. Some have completed themselves, and all they have of a difficulty is the sight of a brother struggling. Must also still be of prevention, their own medicine. The check of self is priority while taking care of the patient or a brother weaker, the center of care. When you become of woe, the other still trying to recover becomes the center of care. Have I been always explaining about my struggle with eating? How I got to a place in life that I almost stopped eating completely. I reached my highest of being, still in flesh. If I wasn't careful, I would have left the physical world. If I did not hold on to awareness of diagnosis, seeking wellness, I would have enabled a complicated grief that would have enabled me to rip my flesh, to rip my physical, to sacrifice my physical in order to attain the perfect that I'm going to become. I reached this perfection, but could not get it. Felt more of like having a dream still at the journey of it. Having a dream of reaching your completion while still at the journey, while still in the journey. Like dreaming of the end when still at work. If I can only see the end without the work, I will never have the end. That will be stagnation. July 12th, I started talking about integrity, the most important of our existence. Integrity, another word for perfect peace. So I want us to try to comprehend what the word integrity is. Sounding more of like educational background, with some feel like the term is a very, very big term, but it is perfect peace. Integrity is perfect peace. And the greatest enlightenment with with the Hindus or Buddhists say when they say reaching the greatest enlightenment. However you call this in your culture or your existence, perfect peace must all be one. Cannot be something else. If your perfect peace is someone else's pain, that is not perfect peace. We must all be able to sit together and communicate and debate, bringing up facts that can restore our world. We understand we have diversities. That is a problem. That is a diagnosis seeking wellness. A healthy problem. We should not make it complicated. We respect our diverse groups. We respect our cultures. Not to keep it like that. Respecting our cultures is not to keep it like that. That is a stagnation. We must be able to reach the place where we are all one. Sometimes we feel like it's brainwashing when we're trying to relate with others. Sometimes we feel like it's like abandoning our past, our ancestors. It's like disrespecting our elders, our parents, when we're trying to connect with each other. We must be able to comprehend how we work is what matters. It's not what we're trying to do, but how we work. We must respect our elders if we're trying to advance. It is not rejecting them, but a progress. Looking forward to a continuation. The continuous we're looking forward to is a holistic continuous. Not a repetition, but emphasis. Have I been trying for us to understand repetition is stagnation? Repetition is stagnation. We want to have a continuous. Emphasis is continuous. Emphasis is positive. Repetition is negative. We're trying to reverse negative to positive. Now, I have also said that there is no wrong. So what is this negative that we call wrong? Why are we trying to change negative? We're not trying to change negative. We're trying to reverse. There is up and there is down. The feet down is right. The head up is right. But if you get inverted, then up can be wrong, down can be wrong. We'll begin to make a word called wrong, which does not exist. Why cultures are all different. Some sideward is upside down. Upright is only one, holistic, of being. It's time for us to really meditate together, reflect, and observe from our point of views and come back together to find the center where we all come from. Having the north, west, south, east is a diagnosis. It's questioning. Must we be able to reach the solution that we were before going north, west, south, east? Now, we understand that it's all about none left behind. To reach wellness, none should be left behind. Must we be able to peace through the storm to perfect peace? Understanding that we are divided expands the need of understanding integrity, perfect peace. I said on July 12th that integrity means best of life, best living, our best living, and that is long life. The best of long life, the best of long life is integrity because it starts from zero to continuous. Continuous is when the flesh has reversed to wellness. Training the flesh to become effective is back to unseen, back to a healthy side of unseen, of unable to be hurt. That even when it's unseen and hurting, it is still physical. We want to go to the state of spirituality. Physical is like upside down. Must we reverse to the upright, which is the spirituality? We call the word spirituality the spirituality of our being. It's only expressing the integrity that we are before the complication. The end goal is always in our hands before we even get to the walk. The struggles that we have must be able to peace through the storm to perfect peace. Before you start the journey, you must know your destination. If you know not your destination, you keep on going all about the maze far. Now, if you know the destination, everyone in the car is directing you to other destinations, refusing the car to move, threatening you, even while you are moving with them to the paths where they have to get to become of self-will, of self-acceptance. You must have the end goal in the mind. You must not lose the end goal. Even if that's superior to you and forces you to go other ways, have the end goal in your mind because it's the end that matters, the continuous. Every others ends and yours continues. The destination is the continuous. All in progress. All in progress. No matter the size, no matter the being, no matter the ability or flexibility, if they have not the destination in hand, integrity, perfect peace, they will have a place of return, a place of exiting out of their complicated state to uncomplicated. They will reach a place of reversing the complicated to uncomplicated. It must not be pain that must reverse to your uncomplicated. Therapeutic communication is very important. So we avoid pain. So we avoid complicated griefs. Wellness. Wellness. When we say, long live the queen, long live the king, long live the universe, long live humanity, long live vegetation, long live perfect peace, long live reality. What does that mean to us? Long live, long live. The progress to continuous. Our loyalty at work is very important for the sake of perfect peace. Arrogance is not the way out. Neither is loyalty low self-esteem. Because you're responding with the one going the complicated way, though you know that you are the one with the right mind, does not mean that you're of low self-esteem. You must have the mind of encouraging them to wellness. You are more of like rehab, encouragement to wellness, helping them overcome their disability, holding on to what is imaginable instead of reality, holding on to the shadow instead of the reality. They need to encourage them to wellness. You must see yourself expected, understanding that you are the light on the lampstand, must encourage all struggling with the shadow of darkness to reverse to light by shining your light with humbleness, not arrogance, not low self-esteem, with humbleness. Because you're taking the turn to the complicated does not mean that you've lost your way. Neither does it mean that you have become submissive to the other, but rather you trying to help them recover from their complicated side. To have a safe journey, all must be in agreement. All must be of one mind. We are having a diverse world, everyone having their own direction to go. Yet we know the center is where we belong. That if someone says, my center is my point of view of north, south, west, or east, if east says everyone should come to east because that's the center, and north says everyone should come but to north instead, for that is the center, that is a jeopardy. That when you've come to north and uncomfortable, and telling north, I'm not comfortable, and north says, but I am comfortable, you have to deal with it. It's the matter of communication, therapeutic communication, facts. Where we were comfortable. If north says, because you left, that's why you're uncomfortable. Facts will help us to understand by going back to the basic of what is perfect peace. If one will not want to part from where there's a complication of I'm already fire, why should I leave the fire to the frying pan? Must you be able to paint what is complicated and go? Must you be able to paint what is addiction? Must you be able to enable them to understand what is contradicting? True, it could be very difficult for some to comprehend why they need to move, of being so used to the addiction. When the shadow becomes you, when you begin to feel like the shadow, when shame has made you become more of a shadow, when you think that you are despair instead of integrity. Last video, I tried to go through the stages of Lord Erickson, stages of human and development, so we could comprehend what it means to hold on to integrity from the very first of existence and stay with it. When you find yourself despair, holding on to the shadow thinking it's yourself, you must be able to be encouraged to wellness. And that will take therapeutic communication. How do you encourage someone struggling with despair back to integrity, back to reality? How do you get them to follow you to integrity when they are so used to despair? When they're already so used to the darkness and light feeling complicated to their side? When they're so used to already punching, and when they're not punching, one that is peaceful is disturbing to the side, to self, where there's no argument could mean you're dead. How do we get used to the fact that we can be without argumentation? How can we get to the place to accept that we can be perfect one and not bored? When you think of a world where everyone speaks the same culture, one everything, no arguments, could look like a border having just one color. You would think a rainbow is much more appetizing than just a plain white color. You want some colors left and right, some flower. You want your place to look like a flower garden. Does that mean diversity is okay? Even when good are all divided, there is a problem. What are the spaces for? If I am kindness and you are peace and a brother is laughter, that is still a problem. I'm supposed to be able to be all of it and you the same and the brother the same. Peace, a smile, may look like different, but the same. Peace, joy, laughter are all the same. So that you understand that joy and peace are a limited expression of perfect peace. Perfect peace is one, is the tree, and the others are the branches. Are signals to perfect peace. If you're happy, clap your hands. If you're happy, smile. How can you tell when someone is happy with a plain face? You're expecting a smile, not a grimace. Integrity, our continuous. We've heard of long live, viva, all hail the king. All hail to integrity, our reality. Must we reverse from the blind sight of despair by rehab back to perfect peace? An attainable of life is our reality. When we go through the human and development, we understand that through the development of the stages of the human and development, there are crises, which signifies that we are in a complicated state. We need to be aware of this crisis so we do not lose our integrity more than what it is. Because if we are seeking healing, we cannot jeopardize the interventions to wellness. We must be able to protect the integrity until it reaches perfection. Integrity is our identity, our wholeness. Like it's defined, that it is the quality of being honest with strong moral principles. That is the general understanding of what integrity is, according to the internet's point of view. of the general understanding of integrity is the quality of being honest with strong moral principles. Should not be limiting to perfect. Humanity cannot be perfect, but it's a progress to its continuous of perfect. Have I said the entire world, like in pieces, should be forwarding to its perfect being of one? Will we begin to wonder what our world is like without a diversity? It will be integrity. A world without diversity will be integrity. Next video, we'll talk more about integrity versus diversity. Our values of life must become one value of life. Perfect peace. If you are addicted to alcohol and you cannot live for alcoholism because you are addicted to it and need perfect peace, will you forego your perfect peace for the alcohol? That will mean continuous rehabilitation until you understand the need of holding on to perfect peace and giving up the alcoholism. Integrity versus despair. The enjoyment of despair can be a tragedy to us. What is morality to us individuals? Could be very different depending on cultures. Yet we must look for the basic that we all relate with to start with, to reverse to this whole song that we seek of us, of integrity. After you found the integrity of yourself, you are left to now look forward to find the integrity of the whole of our being. I get to take a look at Lord Lord Jean Piaget's human and development stages. Wikipedia tells us of its different stages of the sensory motor stage, the pre-operational stage, the concrete operational stage, the formal operational stage. 4 stages. It has 4 stages. And infancy with Lord Erickson is the sensory with Lord Jean Piaget, where a child is all concerned of the sensory motor of visual, the mind, relating with the mind. Sensory is the mind. The only of us left is what a child is, the foundation, the basic, sensory, the sight, taste, hearing. While at that stage, the child is always isolated, like more of a solitary playing. They will say that this a child of that stage play more often alone, trying to get trying to hold on to the basics. And you must be able to give the child that chance to be able to hold on to the basics. And when the child is able to recognize the basics of best, of intelligence of being and the environment, putting these two together, a figurative intelligence is what comes up of understanding our learning from Lord Piaget's writings, figurative intelligence, when the abstract begins to find its way up into the physical. Abstract and concrete is all established in our first beginning. The awareness of I am integrity should be careful with despair. I am integrity. What is this new? Why am I in flesh? What is this new? Why am I protected? The understanding of self is, Lord Erickson would say, trust. Learning to trust the environment, the one taking care of you. Aware of a disability, but not sure why I'm feeling disabled. And then we have the pre-operational stage. It says it's from age 2 to 7, which is the knowing of self, getting used to knowing of self. After the mind understanding, you get to know the physical self. You're introduced to your physical self because now you're a true kind of a being, the king and a diagnose. Feeling like the diagnose, you must know the king that you are. That's the sensory. The pre-operational. It is said at this stage, the child is more orderly learning, chronologically learning, and more of symbolic learning. If things are not in order, the child could be a little bit disrupted. That's a rehabilitation, recovering to expect it. It must be orderly. Therefore, these three stages, these two stage that I have just said, is more chronological, is more of self. And then you have the concrete operational 7 to 11, where the child starts applying the concrete, working with working with the therapist, working with instruments, the use of the wheelchair, for example. I'm using these stages for us to understand our journey to perfect peace. The using of wheelchair, the concrete, why you need the wheelchair, why you need the tools. The child gets to be more of pretend play and magical activities and very self-protective. No matter what you say, if the child has a different point of view, the child is going to be, the child will hold on to that point of view until it makes sense what you're saying before the child can change. And if yours doesn't make sense, the child stays with theirs, no matter how wrong they are, which is the same explanation of why you must be able to understand who you are to the one who emphasizes the complicated to be the right. Until you going with them to the place does not mean that you have become a slave to them, but must have the mindset. The right mindset will help you heal the patient without you becoming of a jeopardy. You must be of self priority care, self priority of care before the center care of the patient. When you go like a slave, you bruise yourself. When you go like an inferior one, a slave, the word slavery is a beautiful term, but how we use it today of complicated. Must we be trying to help the children understand better what slavery only means? Doing work without being paid. That's doing work with your self-will. Doing work without self-will is one with complete. Where you need no wealth, our work is slavery, meaning is the most richest work. Work where you need no wealth. You need not be paid. That is one with integrity. When you work, the pay is not what matters, but the one well. The other's health is your joy. But now the wealth the person gives to you is to help them be appreciative. You're trying to help them to be able to see their own part of work. It's the money is not about you, but rather the work being put in is about you. Your value is your work put in. Their value is their money they give to you. What makes you valuable? The one who heals is their work. And what makes the other receiving the wellness valuable is the money they give to you. It's a give and take world. Such that even when you give a little, you must be able to give another little again another time. If by the time you were receiving healing, you were not up to the standard of being able to give enough of what can really help you feel comfortable of what you've received from someone. When you become of great wealth, you'll be able to remember them. If I had only $5 in my account when you helped me and I gave you $1.50, if I become of very rich, of billions, I must remember you and bring what could be very worth of the physical wealth. True, nothing of the physical can compare with of the mind, of the abstract. Yet, we know what fulfills the physical to relate with the abstract. A cup of water and a gallon of water. The cup is satisfied when it's full, just like how the gallon is satisfied when it's full. There's a satisfaction that the flesh receives, like the spirit receives, the abstract receives. I hope this video helps us to really comprehend the need of integrity and how we can work with the knowledge that we have received from school to educate the young of today and not like our youngs of yesterday. When I was young, it's very different. We're more applicable, physical applying, we're more of physical, of handwork application. But now it's more of technology. We come from different life of existence, different forms of environment. The generations are now different. Of this generation, they're more about education. What we have built for them is education. We cannot just leave them hanging. We must teach them according to what they need to know. So they rely not on our past that is not like their present. We're more manual in our time. Now they are more technological. So we must be able to enable them to be useful with their technology and not leaving them trying to be manual. Manual is more to them like secondary. But back in our time, technology was instead secondary. Now, I've talked about the pre-operational, the concrete, which is the application of tools. After a sensory of understanding the ability, the abstract, the mind that you are, you get to the pre-operational. Pre-operational is environment and my mind getting into environment. And then with environment, you go to the concrete operational, which is now the tools in the environment. And then you have the formal operational, which is now the last stage, which is the adulthood, 11 to adulthood. You are complete at the age 11, 12, to be more, to be more, well, to be more applicable, I would say 12 is the age of completion, of understanding your being, and now practicing to become of perfect. You must have grasped everything by the age of 12. Does not mean that you're already perfect, but now every step from 12 is like after college, you start your career. You have all information, all that you need. Starting your career is a matter of keep on practicing from age 12. But now we know that we have varieties of stages, meaning that some are always a little bit back or more than expected. So we end up with varieties of stages. Some call it milestones, the in-betweens that make more of existence of stages. Instead of just two stages, we get to have more stages because of these others who are slow to progress or faster than expected, needing to be slowed down, needing more rooms to be able to reach the place of wellness. We must heal accordingly to prevent despair. You cannot put one who is slow together with one who is too fast. That will cause despair. Must we introduce the importance of integrity, the importance of humble pride? We understand that how these stages are being divided is because of this slowness, these misunderstandings that we need to correct. And it starts with the first one we know of distrust. For Lord Erickson explains it to be you have distrust, you have doubt, you have shame and doubt, you have guilt, you have inferiority, you have confusion, isolation, stagnation, and despair. All of this only meaning despair, but in be divided into pieces is of how different some people feel. Some is shame. Some will call it as shame. Some will call it but guilt. Some will call it this is mistrust. It's just mistrust. I don't just trust you. It's not that I'm inferior. I'm not confused. It's just that I don't trust you. Some will say it's just that it's just that I am confused. I trust you, but it's just that I'm confused. People fall in different disability stages that interrupts our integrity, which is why we have to fix them according to their classrooms and get them to get to understand the integrity that they were before the disruption. Like I said, a glass falls into pieces and never even of pieces. Must the pieces be walked upon self to the wall? How to reach integrity must be tackled step by step. Every piece is important. Every piece, no matter how tiny, is important to fulfill this integrity because what we're looking for is perfect peace. You need not look for despair, but prevent yourself from despair by holding on to integrity. Now, despair is not a negative, but a misplacement of self. This down is down, up is up. They're all healthy, but us to be upright, self adjusting to perfect. Therefore, there is no abnormality, but abnormal, but normal. There is no abnormality, but normal. Must we practice to heal the mind? The body practices to heal the mind, to fulfill the mind. The, the body practice to fulfill the integrity of the mind. It's how it reverses from the place of despair back to integrity. The flesh, like concrete nature, versus the abstract, which is the mind. The flesh is mind, must reverse to the expected of abstract to fulfill expected. I did watch some videos today about Laurie Hales, and I was so impressed of how she expressed, and her life her life is very inspirational for to many of us, and how she walked her way through with integrity. she did mention in a video. She did mention in the video. She did mention in the video the importance of integrity, and I was so pleased that it was relating to the video that we are having now. She said that was 2 years ago that she made this video, and I was so glad that we did get to I did get to listen to it. It's by Harry Heaters, Lord Harry Heaters' impromptu speech, her impromptu speech, and it was at a show at Los Angeles. She said that when we make decisions, our decisions is not just about money based, but should involve our emotional, physical, spiritual, ethical, right, morals, while we involve, while we involve technology, the technology of present. So I was very impressed when she gave some very good morals that we could work with, which was great. And that's all what we seek to become a one, and we motivate each other. We bring out what we have of positive, and the negative, we must make them lessons. And if we cannot understand the healing of the mistakes, we try to find them from each other. I did get to also watch how from she grew to be a well-known star. I was very impressed of how hardworking we are. No matter that the disruptions in the way, we try to keep positive and move on to integrity. No matter how much we lost on the way, we try to regain and help the children not to make the same mistakes, and be a better role model of not keeping the complicated, but enabling the uncomplicated, so that we can all not fall. Not everybody must fall because there is a hole. But the first one who falls can cover the hole for all of us to move forward. And that is how we heal, to become holistic of expected. Because the one that is in pain, that fell, is able to have those who support the one to wellness and not condemn them. It's very important for us to keep on working with each other to improve more on integrity and helping the young ones to get to understand what these stages really are all about in our lives and what they really mean. It's not just all about your growth. Like a child may think, oh, now I'm already 17, I no longer need sensory, motor, and pre-operational had already passed. Now I should focus only on it. Is still continuous that your physical life is still experiencing the sensory. The universal life is still experiencing the sensory. It's like you're beginning to work with the world. It's like you being the therapist to the world, being of a sensory state. And you must be able to work off expected and encouraging everyone to wellness. Once you regain your self of wellness, you should look forward to the world, which is the center of our wellness. Because you alone well is not enough. You will never be stable. You will never have comfort having a world that is complicated. You must be able to achieve yourself and then help the world achieve themselves so that you can become whole. We look for our wholeness. He steals the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace. I hope this video encourages us to keep on looking forward to our end goal, perfect peace. We all are one mind, perfect peace. No one should feel rejected or despair or a shadow. Must those of light shine so others can pick up and recover. Encouragement to all, no one left behind. Thank you all for watching.